So after that three-parter, we can move back to our Monster of the Week shelves. So this is the top shelf of, I guess we'll call it shelf number 3. So tier 1 of shelf number 3. So now we're going to venture into what's left of these shelves, which is full of pretty interesting stuff. Moving into zoom in mode. We're going to do our 2 Wand Company items first. This, of course, is the Type 2 hand phaser from the original series. It's actually a TV remote. It's a little intricate when it comes to that, but let's get through the aesthetics first here. This is a wonderful magnetically attached stand. So it fits upright, and that looks really cool displayed on my desk. We have our Type 2 phaser up here, which unclips very satisfyingly. And back here, we actually have the USB port to charge the battery. Isn't that cool? But we have to turn it on right here. FX mode. So it has 3 modes. It has an FX mode, which allows you to... I'll have to select a setting down here first before we can actually go through it. But you can... Ooh. I've had this for years. It's the first time it's ever done that. Anyway, so we have FX mode. I push this. Practice mode. And there's a practice mode. So that allows you to go through the motions to see how you would change channels. So we have FX mode and practice mode. So I'm going to reattach it to the base here, which is a satisfying snap. I'll remove the magnetic base here, and then we will go through control mode. Okay, so we don't really have anything programmed, but here's FX mode, and you actually control the settings using this dial. So that is a mild stun, and if you open this up as well, it's kind of cool because the crystal is actually in there, and it lights up, which is really cool. You can extend the emitter, and then actually got a really beautiful light right there. And then we can go through the settings here. Here's number 2, which I think is a different stun. Yeah, that's the noise you're used to. And then we've got a setting 3. All right, there's another sound that's really, you hear a lot. And then 4. Okay, I think that's more in the cartoon. 5 is even higher pitched and faster. 6 actually has a photon torpedo sound in it. And then we get 8, or 7, excuse me. It's more of a stun sound sort of sound. There's 8. I think that was actually the phaser sound from the Starship. And then 9 is a build up to detonation. Because there are several occasions, I don't know if they did it in TOS, but I know in TNG they actually built their phasers up to detonation. And blow up. And then back to 0. So practice mode. So I push the button. Up, down, left, right, push, pull, up, down. See? And you can set those in the software to correspond to channel changes or volume control. It's a functional remote. I actually had it set up at one point. Pretty cool. But yeah. I think that is so awesome, and it sits on a base on my desk. Right next, up behind it, is the communicator. And you charge it using the base right here. It's got a USB port right there. And it's magnets. And it's all metal. This is plastic, but the antenna here is metal. Let's turn it on. And now it's connected to my phone, which is fine. I don't expect any phone calls, but you can see the moray spins in the center there. It's really cool. And then it's got sounds.
Enterprise. Spock here. Affirmative, Captain. Enterprise out.
There's a lot of different noises.
Aye, sir. Yes, Captain. McCoy here. Received and understood. Scotty here, Captain. I'll do what I can, sir. Scotty here, Captain.
So yeah, and you can make phone calls from this. You can use Siri with this. There are just many different options with at least the iPhone that you can use with this. Takes phone calls fairly well. Sounds like a telephone. It's not as clear as, say, an Apple iPhone to iPhone call, but it is still a very functional piece. It lasts for maybe about 2 hours under use. Doesn't take very long to charge. I've actually bought a spare battery, and when you open it up, that's the greatest thing ever. And if you're good, if I'm not good, I've almost got it. There you go. So you get a phone call. It makes the sound through this. And it is also a Bluetooth speaker, so you can play music through this if you want to. Not really. But yeah. And that also sits on my desk right next to the hand phaser. I wanted to show you really quick. This is the box that the hand phaser actually came in. It just looks like a Starfleet issued box. And then you open it up and it's all of this soft, beautiful soft material. Here's the screwdriver to help put it together in some places. But the emitter goes here, the handle goes here, the Type 1 phaser goes here. That's where the base disassembles and goes into. I mean, it is just an absolutely fun presentation box that I just keep in the normal box. And then here's the one with a communicator. Let's clear a path over here. So we'll start with this. This is Captain Kirk from Diamond Select in his command chair. Now there are a couple of versions of this. One actually has Captain Pike in it. The other one, Where No Man Has Gone Before, which is the episode after the pilot, which is the cage. It's actually got an attachment on the side of the chair. It's like an eyesight attachment. It almost looks like a rear view mirror on a stand. A dear friend of mine bought this for me. He saw it and he's like, hey, would you like this? And I'm like, oh my God, absolutely. It is a very cool thing and it's just a nice representation of his chair. Who wants chalky white candy? I do. PEZ. Remember PEZ? Many of you may not. This is the bridge crew in PEZ form. And I have two of them, but they are different. This one has a Locutus, whereas this one has a Beverly. And they are listed as being limited edition. Oh, this one was Walmart. So this one was the Walmart exclusive. This one was everywhere. So next up, here is the Hot Wheels USS Excelsior, NCC 2000. I have not taken this one out of the box because it arrived in the box and I just thought I liked the presentation. So here were the starships in this run. So you got the Excelsior, you've got the Kelvin, which, spoilers, Jim Kirk's father died in. And then you've got this Klingon bird of prey that I think was from Into Darkness. I have attempted to purge that from my mind. It does not look like a bird of prey. It looks like something from Privateer. Here is the USS Excelsior from Hot Wheels. So here we have 3 more fine pewter figures. And as far as I am aware, these are the only ones that were released. The 2 that I have out there of both the Enterprise and the Bird of Prey. And then these 3 representing both the motion picture and the Wrath of Khan. Let's take a look at good old Kirk here first. It's actually a really nice likeness in pewter. These also have come with certificates of authenticity from Star Trek Champions. These were made back in 1998. But that's Kirk. Here is Spock from the motion picture as he is on Vulcan about to receive the Kolinar and then ultimately reject it to join Starfleet again. Really nice likeness of the long-haired Leonard Nimoy there. And there is his certificate of authenticity. And then, I'm not going to do it again. Here's from, of course, The Wrath of Khan. And this is his certificate of authenticity. I mean, for pewter, for it being carved, this is actually very pretty. And I love the background of this one because the Reliant is a large ship that I wish someone would release. I don't know if that's going to happen. All of the ships right now, if we're ever going to see another ship release, are really up in the air. So, but yeah. I mean to avenge myself upon you, Admiral. So very quick like, it's Kirk Herbstreit, isn't it? He's on the shelf. I believe I got this back in 2001, 2002. Quite a long time ago when he was part of Pepsi One. Remember 1 calorie Pepsi? Now that there's 0 calories. Do you remember? Do you? So this is a football commentator who played for Ohio State, I think. I don't know football. I do know that I thought it was a kind of a cool bobblehead, and the likeness is pretty good. Yeah, bobbleheads always fascinated me anyway. But yeah, this is pretty chunky figure. I've had him for, God, over 20 years. So, I mean, he's put together really well and has made it through several moves. So, and now we come to these figures. Last but not least, let's talk about Knickerbocker and what they did back in the 70s. So this is from 1979. If I am not mistaken, these boxes are just falling apart. They are just, 1979. And they are soft Star Trek toys. As you can kind of see, there's Velcro in his hand. And you can kind of put it just about anywhere that the Velcro will stick, which is his entire body. He is very stiff, though. His arms are very stiff. But yeah, there is Leonard Nimoy strapped in. I mean, it's just a really weird, wild figure. And like I said, I think these are the oldest Star Trek collectibles that I own. I'm really afraid to dust these things. I'm afraid the box will fall apart. But yep, here is Captain Kirk from the motion picture. And they only released these 2, as far as I can tell. And, I just saw them at a toy fair one day. I don't think I've ever seen them in box again. And that makes sense because, I mean, look at the condition. Somebody had to work really hard to A, not break these seals and take them out, and B, keep the box in this kind of a condition. It is really crazy and wild. So I'm going to be very ginger, but it's time to wipe these off.